Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to be working on page 120. And we're going to be focusing on comparing fractions greater than 1 by reasoning using benchmark fractions. That just means that we need to understand where 0, a half, and a whole are. And then I am going to be teaching you another way to determine which fraction is greater than, less than, or equal to by finding common denominators. And we've done this before in previous lessons. So let's zoom in and start just the first few. So let's go into our first little answer here. 5 1/3 or 5 3/4. Here you should see they have the same whole number, so we're good there. Next, we're going to be going to the fraction. So we have 1/3 compared to 3/4. Okay, and this can be hard for a lot of students to determine which one is actually greater or less than or equal to. And here we can use that benchmark of knowing that this is above a half, right? Because 2/4 is a half. So 3/4 is very close to 1 whole. 1/3, we don't have a half for 1/3. So this is tricky for us. To check our answer and to really know, we can multiply common denominators to find common, we can multiply the other denominator to find common denominators. So here I'm going to be multiplying 4 times this fraction. And now we're going to get something a little bit different. We're going to get 4/12. And I am going to use this fraction, or this denominator, to multiply this fraction in opposite. And now this becomes 9/12. So we can see here that it's definitely 5 3/4. That is our answer. Okay, perfect. So let's go into our next little problem here, so that you can kind of get the gist of what we're doing. So here we're really working with 12/4 and 25/8. We need to decompose. These improper fractions to make mixed numbers, so we can determine which one is greater than, less than, or equal to. So here, I know 12/4. Actually, I don't even have to decompose that. That's 3 whole. Do you know why? Because 4, 8, 12, right? It goes right into it 3 times. Cool. And then 8 goes into 25. Well, I can take out 24/8. And then I'll have 1/8 left over. And I know that is 3 1/8. So actually, this 25/8 is just bigger, just a little bit, by 1/8. It has 1/8 more. Okay, cool. That wasn't so challenging on that, on A and B. All right, let's try C and see if it gets a little bit more challenging. I'll go to D, and then I want you to finish the rest for tonight. So for C, let's really determine, we need to decompose and determine that these are fractions greater than 1. So let's see how many sixths I can take out. Oh, well, I know my multiplication facts, and 6, 12, 18. Well, 18/6 is an automatic 3 whole. Nice. Cool. And here, I definitely know 4, 8, 12, and 16, so I can take out 16/4, knowing that's 4 whole. Perfect. And I'll have 1/4 left over. So this is actually 4 whole and 1/4. This is much larger, actually, by even a fraction of 1/4 and even a whole number. So it's actually 1 whole and 1/4 larger. Okay, cool. That wasn't so bad either. All right, let's go to D. Ooh, yeah, this is where it's going to get a little bit more complicated. Here, we can make common denominators, where we have fifths and tenths. We definitely can make, we have 10 and fifths, so we are going to use this 10 and multiply it times this fraction. And now I have 5 and 30/50ths. And here I'm going to use this fifth and multiply it with this fraction. And I have 5 whole, and I have 25 50ths. Perfect. So this is definitely what I'm working with here. Awesome. Cool. All right, and that's what you're going to be doing tonight. This actually doesn't seem too challenging once we just make mixed numbers and determine common denominators. So great job tonight. I hope that the rest of these problems aren't too difficult. E, F, G, H, and I, and J. Have a good night, everybody, and I hope that today's math isn't too complicated.